Dear students, welcome to the first part of Module 2. Module 2 is mainly concentrating on lazy learning and probabilistic learning. Let us see what are the major contents in Module 2. In order to complete this particular module, as per K2 instructions, we need 10 hours and 10 percentage marks, that is 6 marks of the university exam questions are asked from this particular module. The major topics in this particular module are lazy learning and probabilistic learning. In lazy learning, we see the classification using K nearest neighbor algorithm, measuring the similarity and choice of K. In the case of probabilistic learning, we will discuss about the naive-Bayes classifier, review of probability, joint probability, conditional probability, Bayes theorem, and naive-Bayes algorithm. So this is the outline of second module. Now we move on to the first topic, lazy learning. Lazy learning methods simply store the data and generalizing beyond these data is postponed until an explicit request is made. So in learning method, data is stored in memory and whenever a need arises, then only the generalization of the data is happened and evaluation is handled. That is why it is termed as lazy learning. So in the general learning process, we already discussed about the 4 processes. We are having the data storage. After storing the data, we have to abstract the data. Then the generalization of the data or making the inferences from the data is happened. And finally, the evaluation of the model is done. So this is the 4 steps in learning process. But in case of this lazy learning mechanism, it simply stores the data and abstract the data. Generalization should be happen only whenever there is a need arises. So that is why this type of learning is termed as lazy learning. Only whenever a need arises or a request arises, then only the generalization stage of the learning process should be happen. And the example for this type of learning is nearest neighbor classifiers. Let us discuss about the nearest neighbor classification. Nearest neighbor classifiers are defined by their characteristic of classifying unlabeled examples by assigning them the class of similar labeled examples. It is simple and it's powerful. So in this nearest neighbor classification, what is happening is if a new point arrives, identify the area or location where this particular point is located and assign the class or category of its nearest neighbors. So in this nearest neighbor classification, what is actually happening is whenever a new data point arrives, we have to locate that particular data point where this particular data point resides. Based on the location, we have to identify the neighbors of this particular location and we choose the class of this particular neighbors. So this type of classification is simple as well as it is very powerful and it can be used for computer vision applications like optical character recognition and facial recognition. And another example is predicting whether a person will enjoy music or a movie. Then it can be also used for identifying the patterns in genetic data. These are some of the applications of this KNN classification. KNN algorithm, that is K nearest neighbor algorithm, which comes under this nearest neighbor classification category, and it is one of the simplest machine learning algorithms and the most widely used algorithm which is used for classification in machine learning. Let us see the strengths and weakness of this KNN. The strengths are it is simple and effective. no assumptions about the underlying data distribution. And it is one of the fastest training phase. In KNN, actually what is happening is only whenever a request arrives, we have to discuss about or we have to find out the inferences from this raw data so that the corresponding there will be no idea about the underlying data distribution, or there will be no assumption about what the data is about. And it is one of the fastest training phase. Then regarding the weakness, it does not produce a model limiting the ability to understand how the features are related to the class. So here in this particular KNN, in the initial stages, it only collect the data and abstract the data. The generalization should be happen whenever a need arises. So that this type of model does not produce, or this type of algorithm does not produce a model. Then requires selection of an appropriate K. In KNN algorithm, the choice for K is very important because depends on the K, depending upon the value of K, the classification should be happened. And another weakness is it is having slow classification phase. In this KNN, it is also termed as a lazy learning algorithm because whenever a need arises, it try to create a model and try to make inferences from the stored data, so that the classification phase is a slow process regarding with other algorithms. Nominal features and missing data require additional processing. So in this KNN, the nominal data as well as missing data is very difficult to handle, or it requires some complexity to handle that. Let us move to the basics of KNN algorithm. The KNN algorithm gets its name from the fact that it uses information about an example's K nearest neighbors to classify unlabeled examples. So KNN means K number of nearest neighbors. That is, this algorithm uses the information of K number of nearest neighbors or nearest points in the training data to find the class of test data. K, a variable implying that any number of nearest neighbors could be used. K means a number in which how many neighbor values are to be considered for evaluating the new test data. So K is a variable which specifies the number of neighbor values that should be considered for evaluating or for finding out the value of finding out the class of new test data. After choosing K, the algorithm requires a training dataset made up of examples that have been classified into several categories as labeled by a nominal variable. So fix a K, then a training dataset made up of examples that have been classified into several categories as labeled by nominal variables. For each new input value, find K number of nearest data values in the training data example and choose the class or category of the majority of K nearest neighbors. So then for each unlabeled record in the test dataset, KNN identifies K records in the training data that are the nearest in similarity. The unlabeled test instance is assigned the class of the majority of the K nearest neighbors. So in KNN, what is actually happening is fix a particular value for K. Then whenever a test data arrives, then a training data set made up of examples that have been classified into several categories as labeled by some nominal values. Then for each new input value or for each new input test value, find the K number of nearest data values in the corresponding training dataset example and choose the class or category of the majority of this particular K number of nearest neighbors. KNN algorithm treats the features as coordinates in a multi-dimensional feature space. So in KNN, it is better to treat the features as coordinates in a multi-dimensional feature space. If the dataset includes two features, then the feature space is termed as two-dimensional. Here we are having an example. The example is related to blind testing experience. So to keep things simple, we rated only two features of each ingredient. Here you can see a data set. The ingredient column is there. Then another feature, sweetness, is there. Then crunchiness is there. Then food type. So apple is the ingredient name. Then sweetness value is 10. Crunchiness value is 9. Based on that, it's classified as a fruit. Then background is there, banana, carrot, celery, cheese. Some data is given, and based on the sweetness and crunchiness, each of this ingredient is classified like classes like fruit, protein, vegetable, like that. So what we are going to do is we are trying to plot the sweetness as well as crunchiness in a two-dimensional plane. Here you can see the corresponding two-dimensional figure, the sweetness of the corresponding food and the crunchiness. And the already given data such as plotted like this. So a scatter plot with the x dimension indicates the sweetness and y dimension indicates the crunchiness. Using the training data, so that is the previous data set is our training data. Using that training data, a scatter plot is generated by marking protein, fruits. So this is the corresponding thing. After constructing the above scatter plot, we decide to use it to settle the question, is tomato a fruit or vegetable or a protein? We have to input a new data. The input data ingredient name is tomato with sweetness 6 and crunchiness 4. So somewhat the location of tomato in the previous diagram is like this. So in the previous diagram, the topmost portion is categorized as vegetable. This portion is categorized as protein, and the right hand side should be classified as fruits. Tomato is somewhat appear as the center of all these things. Tomato is having a sweetness value 6 and crunchiness value 4. Using this nearest neighbor approach, we have to determine which class this tomato is belonging to, whether it is belonging to vegetable class, whether it is belonging to protein class, or it is fruits class. Using this KNN algorithm, we have to determine the class of tomato, whether the tomato is belonging to a protein or it is a fruit or it's a vegetable. For that, we have to measure the similarity with distance. Locating the tomato's nearest neighbors requires a distance function or a formula that measures the similarity between the two instances. There are many different ways to calculate the distances, but in case of the KNN algorithm, it uses this Euclidean distance. The distance one would measure if it were possible to use a ruler to connect two points. So in the case of this identification of class of tomato, we have to consider all the nearest neighbors of tomato in the corresponding graph. So that we have to identify the distance from tomato towards that particular mentioned data point or mentioned neighbors. From the corresponding distances, we have to say that which class this corresponding tomato belongs to. In order to find out the distance, we are using the Euclidean distance formula to calculate the distance from tomato towards its neighbors. Now we see what is the formula for calculating the Euclidean distance. Distance between P and Q can be calculated as square root of P1 minus Q1 the whole square plus P2 minus Q2 the whole square plus etc. plus Pn minus Qn the whole square, where P and Q are the examples to be compared, each having n features. The term P1 refers to the value of first feature of example P, while Q1 refers to the value of first feature of example Q. If we are using only two dimensions x and y, this distance will be equal to x1 minus x2 the whole square plus y1 minus y2 the whole square. Likewise. So this is the formula for calculating the Euclidean distance. For example, to calculate the distance between tomato, which is having sweetness 6 and crunchiness 4, and green bean, which is having sweetness 3 and crunchiness 7, we can use the formula as follows. So distance from tomato to bean is 6 minus 3 the whole square plus 4 minus 7 the whole square, the square root of the whole term. So it will be equal to 4.2. So the distance from tomato to green bean is 4.2. Likewise, all the nearest neighbors of tomato should be considered. After finding out the neighbors, distance from neighbors towards tomato, this is the corresponding distance. Grape, from tomato to grape it is 2.2. From tomato to green bean it is 4.2. From tomato to nuts it is 3.6. From tomato to orange it is 1.4. So these are the nearest neighbors. Then I already told you that KNN, where the K is the variable which addresses the number of neighbors to be considered for final classification procedure. K can take the value like 1, 2, 3 like that. So if you are using 1NN classification, to classify the corresponding tomato or to find out the class of tomato, if you are using 1NN classification, the thing is that we have to choose we have to choose the class of data item which is having the least distance from the tomato. We have to consider only one nearest neighbor for predicting the class of tomato. To classify the tomato as a vegetable, protein or a fruit, we will begin by assigning the tomato the food type of its single nearest neighbor, and it is called 1NN classification because k is equal to 1. If you are considering the case of tomato, we are getting orange as the nearest neighbor to tomato with a distance of 1.4. So in this particular classification procedure of 1NN classification, the nearest neighbor of tomato is orange, and this orange is belonging to fruit class. So in 1NN, this particular tomato is classified as a fruit. As orange is a fruit, the 1NN algorithm would classify tomato as a fruit. Now we have to consider the value of k with value is equal to 3. So it is termed as 3NN classification. In 3NN classification, we have to consider the 3 nearest neighbors of tomato. If we use the KNN algorithm with k is equal to 3, it performs a vote among the 3 nearest neighbors. The 3 nearest neighbors of tomato are orange, grape and nuts. Orange, grape and nuts are the nearest neighbors of 3 nearest neighbors of tomato. Then if you are treating 3 different fruits, since the majority class among these neighbors is fruit, the tomato is again classified as a fruit. So in this particular classification, orange and grape are fruit and nut is classified to some other class. So out of these 3, 2 of them are belonging to fruit class. So again in 3 and then also tomato is classified as a fruit. So this is the idea of KNN classification. The in KNN classification, k is having a relevance that k is the variable which chooses the number of neighbors that are considered for evaluating the final classification of a data point. So this is all about the KNN algorithm. In the next video, we will discuss about the relevance of k. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.